One Focus Radio.
Welcome to the show, it's Dyer's Daily. Keeping in the know, it's Dyer's Daily. We've got chat, we've got discussion, nice and slow, ain't no rushing, reading emails and events. Sometimes he makes no sense. It's time to start the show, it's Dyer's Daily. He'll be there in a mo, it's Dyer's Daily. We've got plays, we've got interviews, even stuff that's in the news, local and otherwise. Come and try it on for size, it's Dyer's Daily.
Hello and welcome to the Dyer's Daily episode for Tuesday the 29th of January 2019. Yes indeed. Right, so on this episode, now that I think about it, we're talking about TV on Netflix, vintage TV. In fact, I'll be talking about that in just a moment, but first let's have a listen to a podcast promo from another podcast out there. I'll see you in just a moment.
Hey, this is Corey from the Convince Us podcast, the show where two normal guys who are also best friends take a critical and entertaining look into the world of conspiracy theories. Each week we cover questions like, is the world ran by a small group of lizard people? Does Queen Elizabeth stay healthy by eating human flesh? Is the Earth flat? Well, no, it's not, obviously. It's a globe. But anyway, check out the Convince Us podcast, available on iTunes, Stitcher, and any podcast application you may be using.
Dyer's Daily.
Now, I realise I'm not filming anything this week, but this is normally one of those subjects that I would film for YouTube simply because I think it would get a lot of reaction. But I'm going to do it here right now just for you, dear listener, simply because it's something that isn't important. But in terms of, I'm very much into kind of cultural history, preserving stuff, and I love archives. Any archive of any kind, I love archives, especially TV and film archives. I think the stuff within them is like gold dust. And the problem is that as we get further and further away from the kind of iconic things of the 20th century and the kind of birth of many of these different mediums and forms, we begin to lose some of it. So, for example, I know that there are contract issues and stuff, but there is just not enough vintage television on Netflix, on Amazon. There is not enough. Amazon more than Netflix. You type in 1960s TV shows on Netflix, and it only comes up with Monty Python and Star Trek. Seriously. That is all it comes up with. What about the millions of other series that were produced during that decade? Most of them on film, if they were made in America, and are actually of decent quality. Amazon's got lots of different ones, but they've started to take them off now, and it gets really annoying actually when that happens, because it's like, I want to see some of this stuff. Okay, broadcast, you can chuck it in the bin if you want, if it's for broadcast, because we know that people complain when something is not quite up to modern standards, whether that be in terms of production or some of the opinions expressed in it. But the thing is, some of us actually want to see it and think of it in the context of the time. Okay, so I think there should be more, certainly on Netflix. I know they've got this thing about, well, we need to create new things with Netflix originals. Hey, how about spending a bit of money, that $100 million that you spent on Friends, how about using some of that next year and bringing in some vintage stuff? I'm sure it's certainly nowhere near $100 million for stuff from the 50s up to the 80s. Come on, Netflix, you know it makes sense. Amazon, keep up the good work, but please, 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 please keep stuff on there. Stop taking it off. Right, that's my 2 cents. Thank you very much for listening to Dyer's Daily. Please be sure to subscribe to Dyer's Daily on YouTube, as well as on your favourite podcast provider. Oh, and while you're there, please rate and comment as well. You can also email us, dyersdaily@southwavesaudio.co.uk, if you have any messages for the show. Thank you very much for listening once again. My name is Jamie Dyer, and I shall see you on the next podcast. Have a great day. This is a South Waves Audio production.